Welcome back to another interesting tutorial. So in this tutorial, I'll be teaching you how to sew this cold shoulder BuBu kaftan with turtle neckline. So this is what I got for my cold shoulder BuBu kaftan with turtle neckline. So I'll be teaching you the tips and tricks on how to make it. So here are the cold shoulders and this is the turtle neckline. So I decorated with my applique. So you can use any appliques of your choice and you can make a full length or a half length of this gown. So if this is what you want to learn in this class, I will encourage you to stay till the end of this tutorial to learn the tips and tricks on how this cold shoulder dress is made. So here I'm using 3.5 yards of stretchy fabric. So this stretchy fabric should not be too stretchy. Okay, I noticed that I use very stretchy fabric and it's just stretching all around. So this is the length of my fabric and the 3.5 yards. So I'll pick up the 3.5 yards and place it on fold. So you pick up the 3.5 yards, place it on fold like this. So this part is the scuba length of 60 inches. Okay, so we are going to pick up the length of 50 inches, which is on fold by 3.5 yards to meet up the other part. So the total length you will have now will be 30 inches from the folded part, 60 inches folded part right now. You will now have 30 inches. I believe you understand. So I'm trying to arrange this very well, so we'll begin to draft. The neck width is 3 inches. Neck width is 3 inches. Neck depth is 1 inch for the back because it has a turtle neck. 3 by 1 inch. I'm going to connect. Neck depth for the front is 3 inches. I'll connect it to the neck width of 3 inches too. So after connecting the neckline, we are going to mark our shoulder divide by 2. So mark your shoulder divide by 2 at that point. Next, you are going to mark your bicep line. From your shoulder, my bicep, that's the largest part of my arm, is at 7 inches. So if your largest part of your arm is at 7 inches, just mark it at that point. Then from the shoulder, I'll come out by 1 inch. Okay, from the shoulder, come out by 1 inch. Then place your tape on the 1 inch and on the 7 inches bicep line and get the midpoint. So we are going to use this midpoint to create that cold shoulder. So you mark 3.5 inches downwards. We are going to connect like an oval from the 1 inch from the neckline to the 7 inches of my bicep line. So here is the cold shoulder line. Next, we are going to place our tape and measure our bust line. So my bust line here, I used my nipple point, which is 10.5. Then I'm going to mark my waistline at 17. And then we are going to mark my hip line. And this dress is a short dress, it's not a long one. So I did not use up to 3.5 yards. But if you want a long one, use 3.5 yards. So on the bust line, you will mark your bust circumference divide by 4. Add 2.5 inches to it, or even 2 inches because the fabric is stretchy. On the waistline, you will mark your waist circumference divide by 4. Add 2.5 inches or 2 inches, both seam allowance and ease. Then I will connect from the bust line to the waistline. Then on the hip line, you will use your hip circumference divide by 4 and add 2.5 inches or 2 inches for ease and seam allowance. Please don't use too stretchy fabric. Don't use too much stretchy fabric so you enjoy sewing this and wearing it also. So I'm going to mark what I have on the hip all the way down. So this is a butterfly BuBu kaftan. Okay, so we are going to stitch on top of it. So after marking this, we are going to transfer these lines to the other side. I'm going to mark it on the other side too. Like I said, it's a butterfly dress. So we are going to stitch right on the right side. So after marking, I want to rule my lines so to extend that shape to the other side. So I'm going to extend the lines. So I will go ahead to take my bust circumference again. My bust circumference plus 2.5 inches, I'll mark. My waist circumference plus 2.5 inches, I'll mark. And the hip circumference plus 2.5 inches. So I'll first connect the one I've marked. Then once I get to the hip, I'll repeat the same thing. Hip circumference plus 2.5 inches. I'll mark and then connect. So I will take what I have on the hip downwards like I did for the front. So that is it for this dress. So we'll begin to cut this dress right away. So I'm going to take it to the right side again. So I will show you where and where to cut. So now I'm going to take the armhole. The armhole space is 9 inches. Okay, take 9 inches. I've already extended my line to 9 inches. So you can be able to, because the fabric is stretchy actually, so 9 inches is okay. If you are working with a non-stretchy fabric, you can use 10 inches. So I did the same for the other side too. Now I'm going to add my 1/2 inch seam allowance on the cold shoulder. Okay, my 1/2 inch seam allowance. So here is the cold shoulder, and I'll cut only the back neckline. So after cutting the back neckline, quietly and carefully open up. So here, this is the front piece. I've opened it up as you can see. So I'm going to cut out the neckline right now. So after cutting out the neckline, this is the neckline. So it's very stretchy. That's why I did not put a buttonhole at the back, put a slit at the back. But if you feel your head will not enter, just go ahead and put a slit at the back and finish it up with your bias. So but this one I'm not, is really very stretchy. So you are going to take the measurement of your neckline. You will take the round neckline measurement. So here I've taken my round measurement. So I'm going to use my round measurement to cut out the collar. So here I'm going to use my leftover fabric. I'll place it and cut out. So the width of my collar is actually 5 inches. So when I place it on fold, it will give me 2.5 inches. So I will go ahead and join these pieces now. Okay, so I'm done joining and I place it on fold and I have 2.5 inches. So I'm going to measure the length I got, which is 21 inches. I'll add 1 inch for seam allowance, which is 22 inches. So because this fabric is stretchy, that's why I have all those 22 inches, 21 inches for it. So I'll stitch half an inch on both sides now. So after stitching, this is what I got. I'll turn it to the right side. So you can also hair stay this piece, okay, or use a soft collar stay for the collar. But for tutorial purpose, I'm just showing you how to go about this. Now I'm going to make a notch at the center front of this neckline before we attach it to the neck dress. So I'll bring my dress and this is my neckline. I'll go ahead to also create a notch at the center front neckline. So place a notch at the center front neckline and we are going to stitch right now. I'm going to pin to the center front as you see me do. Then you pin to the center back also. I will also get the other end and pin to the center back. So you can open a slit like I said if you feel the fabric is not that stretchy, but this one is so stretchy, no need for a slit. So I'll go ahead now, arrange this neckline. Go to stitch half an inch for my collar. This is what I got after I'm done. So the collar is ready right now. So you can go ahead and serge the inside, okay, weave it and put your button and open a slit if you want. So I'm going to use my bias to finish up the cold shoulder part. You use your bias to finish it up nicely. Then after that, you can now begin to decorate. So here I have my applique. So it can be sewable applique or applique you can gum or tack or whatever applique. So I'm just using this applique I have as a for tutorial purpose. So you are going to place it on that part of the coat shoulder and stitch. So I've finished stitching the both of them. I secured with my pins just to show you example. And you also put your appliques on the neckline, on the collar. Okay, my applique finished, so I did not put anyone there. So now the next we are going to do is to sew the butterfly BuBu kaftan on the part that we just marked. I'm going to place my fabric very well, and I'm going to stitch on that line directly. So when you are stitching, it will be holding or stitching the front and back together. So go ahead and secure with your pins before you stitch. So I'll pin at those points and then go over to stitch. I'll stitch the other side too. After stitching, this is what I got right here. You are going to pass your arm on that part, okay, and wear it, pass your arm this way, as you can see. So this is how to go about this coat shoulder turtle neckline BuBu kaftan. So thanks for coming, and see you in the next one. Bye.